Hello everybody, how's it going today? I hope you guys are all having a blessed day today. Today, as you can see, we are talking about God-centered relationships. Hopefully this is going to be a pretty laid-back episode. I'm just going to try to teach you because it's when people get into friendships, romantic relationships, they have this question on how do I keep this God-centered, since it's a big topic in the Christian and just Christianity in general. Like, how do I keep a relationship with somebody without putting them at the throne of my heart? And this is a misconception I had for a while, because I was like, man, like, I really love this person, but at the same time, like, I don't want this person to be number one in my life, because when you put other things number one in your life, that turns into idolatry. Like, pretty much that means you have an idol in your life. Idolatry, not a good thing. So we are going to touch up on how to keep God-centered relationships spiritually and physically. So let's get into the episode. So you see a lot of this on TikTok, like God-centered relationships, and I really like what they have to say on just the little things, like God-centered activities. Like, when I say like praying together, reading your Bible together, and fasting together, and even praying together, dude, they help your relationship with God, not only with God, but with your relationship. What I like to look at it is, imagine a triangle, and on the two bottom sides of the triangle are you and your person you're in a relationship with. And as you grow closer with God, you slowly grow closer together. And when you're closer to God, you're closer together. And that really helped me. It's like, wow, the more I spend time with God, with this person. But what I do have to touch up on is, most people, or not most people, think one misconception is if you don't have a relationship with God on your own, you can't have a God-centered relationship. You guys both have to have relationships with God in order to have a God-centered relationship. Because if one of you guys aren't having a God-centered, this is what touches up on can I date somebody outside of my religion? And it's you can, but you're not gonna have a God-centered relationship. And when you don't have a God-centered relationship, God's not gonna bless that relationship. So it's do you really want that? I don't think so. So to touch back up on praying together, reading your Bible together, fasting together, praying, all of that good stuff is going to keep your relationship holy, and God will bless the holy relationships. So you guys it's honestly just a better relationship if you have a God-centered relationship, if I'm being honest. And then another question a lot of people ask is when we get into physical talk and romantic relationships, they say okay, how far can I go? How far can I go with this person physically without it turning into sin? And that is a super dangerous question to ask, because it's literally what you're asking. I saw this on TikTok once, on this guy answering this question, and I can't remember. I'm sorry. I give credit to him, but I don't know his name. I'm sorry. But what he was saying, I got this from somebody else, just keep that in mind, that is pretty much what you're saying is, how far can I go into sin without making it sin? And that's just okay, how I could give a good analogy with that, but nothing is coming on top of my head. But you guys are hopefully you guys are getting this. when you say like, okay, how far can I go like physically, because I really desire like this lust with this person, but like I don't want to have like that. Still want to obey God. And it's like, why are you even stepping into that area? And if you had a God-centered relationship, maybe you guys would have the communication in order to have like those boundaries. You know what I mean? So it's like, when we talk about physically in your relationships, it's like you have to set boundaries with each other so you won't cross them. It's pretty much that's with everything. So it's like, maybe you guys need to set a boundary for like not having sleepovers, not hanging out, or you guys can obviously hang out, but like not hanging out too late. Like if you guys hang out late, like that's when it gets to the point where you guys are getting sleepy, and it's like you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, it's super risky, and it's like, why would you even like want to dabble with sin, like in and out of sin, in a God-centered relationship? So what I say with this is just avoid it as much as you can when it comes to like with lust, it says run away. Like it says run away from sexual immorality. So it's like you have to run away and not slowly creep towards it. You have to run away. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. But with God-centered relationships, like it's the little things, praying together, all those holy things you do together, but also having relationships of your own with God, so that you can both grow together with God. But another thing is just like having that good communication, and not only setting those boundaries, but also like setting time apart for God. Okay, so like you have to set time apart for God, because you also have to be really careful on keeping God number one and not letting that other person become your number one / idol. And this is something I struggled with. Like, guys, it's super common because your romantic relationship can so easily become an idol, as well as another relationship. So what helped for me in order to keep my relationships like and keep God number one, and still having those relationships, is keeping God number one and putting God before all of those things. Like it's like the little things when it comes to this, guys. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go hang out with this person, but first let me get in my word or pray a little bit before. Or another thing, like before I get on FaceTime with this person, I'm gonna like pray a little bit. It's just keeping God first, guys. And you guys are gonna stumble sometimes. Like, you guys may, like, I know I dabbled with sin for a little bit. Like, I know everybody deals with sin, guys, but as long as it's honestly a learning process, guys. The more you attempt to, and the more you pray, the more you fast, the more you read your Bible together, the more holy your relationship is going to be, and the more obedient you guys are going to be in your relationship, and not going to fall into those physical, like, yeah, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this episode. What we learned today in an overview is just to, keeping God as the center relationship takes effort, and you need to put in that effort. And that includes the little things, but as well having a firm foundation relationship with God on your own, and then you can get into that relationship. Guys, one thing you have to know is you guys have to have a firm relationship with God on your own before you get into a God-centered relationship. Because if you guys have like if you guys are like lukewarm, if your like partner is like lukewarm and you're like on fire, that's just gonna cause problems in the end with like obedience and disobedience. So you guys have to have a firm firm relationship with God on your own, and then as well as your partner, and then you guys can grow with God together, and it will be just amazing. And then obviously with physical, like a lot of you guys want to like guys want to dabble with sin and like get close to sin without making it sin, but you guys just need to flee from that and just avoid it at all costs. So guys, that is going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys learned something, and I will be back next week with another video. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.